Cyclone fans, good job. 2-0. You beat Rick Pitino. You beat Greg McDermott. And you don't even get a shot at the money in this fucking bullshit ass tournament. What a joke.
Yeah, I mean, so wait, but they won by 18 today.
Yeah, they only won by 1 yesterday.
So their score differential is like 19th, and they finished 5th.
See, this is why the tournament's trash. This is why I haven't tuned in. It's like this.
I agree with you guys. That's the worst part about the tournament. There's
it's like, what are you telling your teams? Like, if you're a defensive team, I mean, first off, you're not going to correctly rank the teams, right?
You're only playing by teams.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, but so someone's going to get some harder teams more than likely. Correct. Because
and Iowa State was that they had two very good teams, and then most of the other ones were like two okay. Like if you look at Kansas or Michigan, or like a top tier team and a bottom tier team. So like a Gonzaga, they played a top tier team, beat Alabama, and then they completely shit on UNLV today or Maryland today.
Yeah,
and they ran up their scores.
Yeah, I mean this whole thing is garbage. Like I don't.
We had teams trying to fucking run up the score today in the last minute. Like instead of dribbling the shit out, the game's over.
We had that yesterday too.
You had Kansas chucking up 4 threes at the end of the game just so that they could get the point differential. It's literally the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It's Mickey Mouse AAU bullshit. This event fucking sucks.
Yeah, Grips. So you win all your games, you do not get to move on because it's about score. This is ridiculous. It is I can't believe it crept into the fucking sport.
It's disappointing because the face of Players Era, the Seth Berger guy, did a press conference with media to announce like matchups and whatnot, and doubled down on his defense of the tournament format. It's completely like tone deaf. He mentioned that we want it to be simple and understandable for fans and how the format works. You know what is simple and understandable?
Bracket.
A motherfucking bracket. Put a bracket up between these teams, and then you have good marketability because then people can have these bracket challenges or whatever, and they're able to kind of predict the upcoming matchups instead of having no clue of how this is going to work. Your average fan that you're trying to bring in with this tournament has no idea what your tiebreakers are. Why have tiebreakers in the first place? Have them in a bracket. Do it like a 8-team bracket where the losers move on to the left side of the bracket, the winners move on to the right. It's very simple and understandable for the average fan. It's worked forever for Maui for 30 years, and I don't know how these idiots who have run this tournament.
It's a damn shame because bringing in the teams that you brought in, you would think, hey, this would be awesome, but I didn't really get educated on this until the night before when you were telling me about this, and I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like some. I know they're saying NBA Cup shit, but to me, it's like European soccer or something with your points. Like what? Like
it gets worse. And I want to pile on because they deserve to be piled on. And so does the national media with the way that they just blindly were lecturing and tweeting at everybody all day. This is a great event. What you're watching on TV is not reality. This is a great event. This is a great atmosphere. No, motherfucker, I'm watching the game. This shit sucks. And for the fan bases, they did not know who they were playing tomorrow. The game started here in 10 hours. They did not know their opponent till 2 hours ago.
This is what
like an AAU fucking soccer tournament. Literally.
This is what I was going to bring up for you, Mac. You're the former coach on this podcast. You bring the credibility here. Imagine being a video coordinator or a scout guy on a coaching staff, and you have no idea like who's even in the pool of teams that are the possibility. Like you used to be able to go into these MTEs and tournaments where there was 8 teams. The first guy would have just the first team, your play-in game. Then the next guy would have the next 2, and then the next guy would have the possible 4, and you would have weeks to prepare on some of these teams. Mac, can you detail kind of like how tough a job is it to prep for a team on 2 hours of like notice the night before, and then like you wake up on a normal day, and then you have like 4 hours to prep for the game with all the kids?
Well, yeah, that's when it's already hard enough when you know your opponent. now you don't know your opponent. They're like, you're not watching film on how many teams are in this event? 17?
18.
That's physically impossible to scout 17 teams at once at a high level. So, like, you throw out the scouting report. There's no scouting report tomorrow. This is just, like I said, this is a Mickey Mouse TMZ money grab tournament. And the fact that they're doubling down is a clown show. And and the national media, it is what it is. We know they're in bed with this tournament. It's America. They can tweet about what they want. They can back whoever they want. It is what it is. I don't really care. But don't lecture everybody and say that this is a great event. Everybody has eyeballs. And when everybody's aligned on the same side and they're lecturing you how great something is, it's usually not. It's usually not.
I don't need someone to tell me what's good and what's bad.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The events could tell you that the event's good. If you got to tell me how great it is and what you're seeing is wrong, nah. I wasn't born yesterday.
Here's my fix, and I think it's really easy. I'm pitching 2 fixes. One, you give us a damn bracket. You don't do all this pool play bullshit. And this wasn't even pool play this year because there was 18 teams and you had to include tiebreakers and stuff. Just eliminate all of that complicatedness because that makes it confusing for the average fan. Introduce a bracket. It makes it easy. You can market it very well with challenges and people can have some fun with that. And the second thing I would do is I would find smaller gyms. I would not have them in these big ass arenas.
Thanks for saying that because I was just about to go into that from going.
It just smells like corporate trash, and like everybody will always mention Maui, and you look at these Maui games, and the environment's incredible. And yes, I know that gym's only 2,500 seats, so you go out and find a similar gym. Use UNLV gym right down the road. There's only 10,000 seats in that thing or even less. Why are we using a WNBA arena and like the biggest like boxing arena in Las Vegas? Find yourself a gym that you know you can fill. Stop selling daytime, like full day packages, because then that will like decrease the amount of fans inside the stadium because you have 6 fan bases, 8 fan bases buying tickets for that session. Now you have 6 groups of fans that aren't going to this one great game that includes 2 teams. Sell them individually. That way fans that are going to the games are fans of their team. Use smaller arenas. I think those 2 simple things fixes the entire thing because they have some great teams in this event. There are some great games in the event, but it's not a good TV product. It's not.
All right, and I know they're going to say, look at the teams and the quality of competition. The fact that I had Houston and Tennessee on mute today, and like I was half-assed watching that game, tells you everything. If that was a normal game, I would have not missed a play. I would have sat my ass down right on that couch for 2 hours locked in. I half-assed was watching all these games all week, only because I know we have a show. We have to give out picks. If I had it my way, I wouldn't have watched any of these games because I think
you're better than me because yesterday, I mean, granted, I wasn't in my studio. I was at a different house, but I had 2 screens, and I'm sitting there like, no, fuck you. I'm not watching that shit. Give me Chaminade and Washington State, and give me whatever.
Yes.
All night I was watching Maui, and then I was watching just some of the other, I think some of the ones in Florida, right? And but I did that on purpose. I was like, I don't want to subscribe to this corporate bullshit. Like, to me, I saw, I didn't watch the games, but I saw people on Twitter showing the crowd turnout, which made me fucking laugh. But yeah, I mean, having some setup like that, I'd be more open to jumping in to watching this if you just had. It doesn't even make sense, guys. Like the preaching the offense thing. There's great teams. First off, you're never going to get the matchups completely right because you don't know the top fucking 20 teams in a pecking order. Then to do this to me, like, is rewarding offense when defense to me should be like, I don't know why Houston would agree to this or some of these other schools where you would, yeah. Well, it's like you're a defensive. That's how you win, and you win ugly, right? So you're basically saying fuck you to that team. That team. I mean, Iowa State actually won by 18, but I'm still saying like more often than not, we've watched these games for years.
The better example is Houston, Tennessee, and you pit them against each other. Yeah. So it was like you immediately were telling both of those teams you have no shot of getting the championship because we're going to value offense.
Who was ever asking for that system?
And I know a lot of people actually probably won't agree with me. Why do we have to pay the players in a midseason tournament? They're getting paid out of their ass already with their NIL before the season. Why do we need an in-season tournament to pay them more?
Yeah.
Like that screams of NBA Cup bullshit, whatever the hell that Barney court that they play on.
No, to me that screams live golf.
It's
Yeah.
stupid.
The sport selling its soul for money.
Well, exactly. Why do we have to pay them in the season? They already signed for a shitload of money in NIL. Fulfill your contract, do your job, see if you can win a national championship, and go to the NBA and make the real money in the NBA. This is stupid as hell.
Well,
I enjoy the incentive of like playing in a tournament. One, they used the money to get all the teams in, but two, adding the prize at the end, I do enjoy. Like you're paying the players for putting on good performances and a good product on television, hopefully. But this just hasn't been a good TV product because of the other things that I've mentioned already.
But to push back on that was the 2019 Maui with Kansas Dayton or the 1998 Alaska event. You're already playing for something. You're playing for your resume and your March Madness resume down the road. I don't know why we have to incentivize people for money. You do that with like a stupid crown tournament at the end of the year where the season's already over.
The reason why they do
in the middle of the fucking year. This isn't the NBA or whatever other Mickey Mouse fucking leagues they want to make this. This is college basketball. November to March, you build your resume from November 3rd all the way to Selection Sunday, and your goal is to get down to the Final Four and cut down the nets. Stop this fucking other shit.
The reason why they had to do that and offer like the prize money and NIL money to the players is because they were a newer tournament and they had to gain some type of, credibility to bring in these top tier teams that they have. And I give them a lot of credit for doing it because they were successful in year one. They paid out the amount of money that they promised all the teams that they were going to. And that's how they beat the traditional like Maui, Battle for Atlantis, Charleston Classic, Fort Myers Invitationals, is they were the first ones to offer, hey, we have an NIL prize at the end of this thing. So I give them credit for innovating and having a new idea. No, it doesn't need to happen, but now in order to compete with the Players Era Festival, some of these MTEs and tournaments have to think outside the box and say, hey, do we need to have an NIL prize at the end of it?
I ended the show the other night, 2 nights ago, by saying, like, it is on you, the viewer. Like, our generation more than ever, this generation currently alive, I think we're in this point where the sport is radically changing with the laws that have occurred, but also within TV getting a grasp on the sport more than ever before, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important for us, the person viewing the sport, to make decisions wisely. Like I do what you are going to fucking do, but there's going to be ramifications long-term on what you're subscribing to, whether it's college football or college basketball. Or I even say the NFL. I mean, I was talking with Sean Green about this. I was like, cause he was like, yeah, I think the kickoff sucks. And I was like, well, dude, you still subscribe. At what point, how much can they destroy the fucking product before you will finally say, I don't want to be a part of the product? How much?
Real quick, Colby, unplug your mic and plug it back in. It was a little staticky and disconnecting a couple of times.
I
will say
it doesn't get to that point.
I will say I see through the corporate bullshit, but also I'm a fan of watching high level college basketball, and I think this is a good thing that they're getting these teams in guaranteed matchups against the top tier programs. I prefer that format fix. I prefer a couple other fixes with the tournament, but as long as they continue to do good for college basketball and getting these high level matchups, because when these teams dodge people and don't play these types of games, that's where I get a little annoyed. I get more annoyed about how the scheduling's going when these coaches have power of scheduling the tomato cans rather than they're going to commit to an event and they know they're playing 3 tough teams. I like that about
look, you don't think I want to watch Houston, Tennessee, if any other setting, I would love to, but I know I'm supporting the evil if I do that. You know what I mean? So that's I want to watch every college basketball game. I'm a junkie on this. Clearly, we record fucking every night of the season, right?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, you have to make that decision within you, or not. This thing will end up complete shit. And I can do a million metaphors on this. We can do. I can make the movie industry. I could do the music industry. I could do a million fucking things. The NBA. But more than ever, college sports is controlled by TV execs and people coming into the sport because they realize they can profit off of this, and they don't have the best. They don't have their heart intact for what is good for the overall sport, or they probably weren't ever even fans of the fucking sport. So you have to make that decision within yourself, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to explain this to White Tiger one day when I see this shit in 30 years is complete trash, or maybe even sooner than that. But it's a shame. But I would encourage people. Your rating when you watch that game might be a fire game, but you're supporting the fucking devil then.
Yeah, and not. I mean, like I said, the media that covers our coworkers or whatever you want to fucking call them, they can support whoever they want. They can cover whoever they want. But they were the same crowd a couple weeks ago saying, we need more home and home games. We need more games on home campuses. But then 2 weeks later, you're defending this event. This is literally the opposite of everything that we have been preaching for years and years over here. More home games, more tradition, more tradition. It's also the same crowd that is super anti-court storming. So once again, if all the national media is on the same side, I'm not saying they're getting a kickback. I'm not saying they're getting money to promote, but just be aware as the fan watching. Watch what you put on and what you subscribe to. To your point, because when everybody's on the same side lecturing you how great something is, none of us were born yesterday. The other side is the truth.
And I'll wrap it up by bringing this thing full circle, and it's kind of stemming off of what Mac just said. Like, if the national media needs to come out and get in front of a narrative of the public, and they overwhelmingly have to tell the public that what you're watching isn't actually what you're watching, trust me, it's good. There's an issue. There really is an issue.
Spineless fucking pricks.
There's gotta be a fix.
I got.
That's why I was obnoxious today. I was like, "Fuck you!" Like,
I couldn't believe that was what was happening online when I was asleep and not everything. But yeah, 2 fixes: bracket format, eliminate pool play, all this tiebreaker bullshit. Make it simple and understandable for your casual fan. Exactly what you said in your press conference. Bracket. Number 2, smaller arenas. That way the atmosphere, you have a lot of fans there already. The atmosphere can be more lit with a 10,000 seat arena. Play it at Thomas and Mack at UNLV. And then find another arena. I don't know the Las Vegas area enough, but there are plenty of live entertainment areas to play college basketball. People are playing goddamn college basketball games in ballrooms. Figure it out.
Colby, it's good that you weren't on Twitter today, because I'm not going to call anybody out individually. You can go find them, but I don't think these guys are bad guys. They're just spineless and they're cowards. There was somebody that said, I've never seen so many people care about the atmosphere and the environment of what they're watching on TV. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, if we want to watch something that just looks boring and corporate, we would turn on the NBA. And you saying that the atmosphere and the environment don't matter in college basketball?
That is college basketball.
Tradition.
That is college basketball.
What are we talking about, man?
And I'm with Mac here too. Like, I know people, and I consider myself friends with people that are in Las Vegas covering this tournament that are have smaller followings compared to other national media members working for these big time media companies. And they're saying the same things as the other big J's. And it's just like, I don't agree. And, I've texted one of my buddies out there. I was like, I like the idea. I think it needs to be fixed.
Groupthink. Watch out for groupthink. It's always wrong.
Just know that your fucking decision to watch whatever game you want has ramifications.
And we bring this thing all the way back to say Iowa State goes 2-0 and they do not get into the top 4 money games because of tiebreakers. So shout out to the Cardinals or Cyclones. Sorry, not Cardinals. The red bird on this slide.
What a crap.
Cyclones go 2-0 against Rick Pitino and St. John's and Creighton, and don't play for money. That's absurd.